Hey guys, welcome to week 2 of the K.I.S.S challenge. And admittedly, I just finished cleaning the gym and I'm sweaty and gross and I need this stretch too. And should I have showered before this video? Probably. Did I? No. But let's get into it. So week 2 of stretches. We're going to start with some butterfly legs. So getting our heels as close to our pelvis as we can. And then I want you to be conscious about if we're slumped over, so from the side, if we're slumped over like this, or if I can find the meaty part of my butt cheeks and sit up nice and tall. So get some really nice length through the back of you. Okay? So sitting up nice and tall, we're gonna start rocking back and forth. If our legs are a little further out, that's okay. I just wanna get a really big stretch in my hip flexors. So wherever that is for you works for me. We're gonna rock back and forth. We can also take one arm and push down on one leg, hold. Sorry for the sniffles, I'm cold. And then the other leg. Again, if it's too intense, back it up, go back to just some butterfly legs. But if you can get into a deep stretch here, let's do it. And then be conscious, are you starting to slump over? Can you give yourself a nice tall chest? Good. All right, then we're gonna keep our feet where they are, but I actually want you to lean over, almost like you're trying to look past your toes to something in front, but keeping your butt down. So try not to let yourself really hunch over or let your butt lift. We're gonna stay nice and tall and kind of push into our pelvis. Okay, and we're gonna hold, breathe. Bring some awareness to your quads, so your thighs. See if you're squeezing tension. Try to let that go. Okay, it's the first thing we all do when we do gentle stretching is we squeeze the hell out of our muscles, and we don't want to do that because that sends signals to our brain that you're in danger, and you're not. You're doing mobility. So relax your muscles. And keep leaning, keep holding, 5 more seconds. 2, 1, good. And then we're gonna take our right foot and we're gonna cross it over our left. So we're sitting in like a crisscross applesauce position, like my daughter would say. And then all I want you to do is keeping your sits bones down, we're gonna lean over and stretch the hands out. Keep your butt down. Should be a really nice pull down the back of your right leg. Hold. Good, let's walk it to the left. Middle, to the right. See if we can get some really good stretch through the right side of your body. So big stretch. And back to the middle one more time. Let your head get heavy. And then walk it back, nice and slow. And then we're gonna switch legs. So now the left leg is gonna go in front. One leg, one hip is always tighter. I'm gonna switch to the side for this one so you can see. So you're going to left leg in front, reach out. Now there should be a nice big pull in the left side of your leg, but still be focused on keeping your butt down. So try not to let it lift up. We really wanna root ourselves down. Stretch. Right out to the middle, hold. Good, then we're gonna walk to the right. Big stretch on the left side. Breathe, try not to squeeze your quads, try to relax. Good, back to middle. And over to the left, big stretch on the right. Good, back to middle. And then walk it up. Good. So today I kind of focused on, or I'm trying to focus on hips and low back. So for this week, if you wanted to repeat this stretch every day to get your points, works for me because our low backs are always angry, right? Hips, low backs, always tight and angry. So this one, I want you to bring your toes close. We can have a nice generous bend in our legs. We're gonna grab your toes, and here's where you're allowed to round your back. Get a really nice rounded back. And then if this is good enough, stay here. It should be a really big stretch of the back body and kind of like a release almost. So if this is good enough, good. If we want to get a little bit more deeper, or we also want to get our hamstrings, so the back of our legs, we're just gonna walk our feet out while keeping our hands there. If this is good, good. Still that nice rounded back, get a really big stretch up the erectors of the back. And then if you're somebody who's got some more mobility than even me, cool, that's not hard to do. You're gonna stretch your legs right out. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. Now slow release, especially if you're all the way out here. Just a nice slow release. We're gonna sit up nice and tall. Get a little movement. For me, like right here is always nice and lit up, so I like to do a little chest opener where I move out of this position. We're gonna go into all fours. And you're gonna get your knees under your hips, hands under your shoulders. And all I want you to do is send your tailbone as high as it will go, look way, way up. And then we're going to push away from the floor and arch our back, bringing our tailbone underneath us as much as it can. And then we're just gonna do about 30 seconds of, this is called cat-cow. So we're just going to ride the wave of your spine, so up and down. And then a little trick a Chiro taught me one time, that if you find a sticky spot, so for me it's always when I'm in this position, I feel a really big pull here. So we're gonna stay in that position, and I'm just gonna send my hips back, forward, side, side. But if you're somebody that you feel like a really big sticking point when your butt's way up in the air, do the same thing. Send your butt back, forward, side, side. You can even do circles with it. We're just trying to take your spine through all of its range of motion. And if it just feels good to do good old cat-cow, then let's do that. 2 more reps. Good. Then we're gonna take your knees, and I want them to be as wide as your mat, but your toes can touch. If you're not on a mat and you're on a blanket, cool, just get your knees out wider than your shoulders, okay? And then we're gonna send your hips back. If this is too much of a stretch in your hip flexors and you're like, I don't think so, just bring your knees in, okay? We can go into like a regular child's pose, but if you can get your knees wide, let's do it. Send your butt back as far back to your heels as you can get. So if it's here, that's okay. But see how deep you can get. That's what she said. For anyone that has come to my classes, that one's for you. That's what she said. All right. Let's stretch the arms out. We're not going to just sit here passively this time. We're actually going to stretch as much as we can and push our chest down towards the ground, push our butt back towards our feet, and hold. Three, 2, 1. Good. And then we'll come all the way back. Bring our knees underneath us. And then we're going to do about 30 seconds per side of thread the needle. So you're going to go up, going to get a really nice big rotation, and then we're going to send your arm underneath. underneath. We'll do 2 more pass-throughs. Should be a really nice twist here, guys. So my thoracic spine is getting a really nice twist. Follow my hand with my gaze. And 1 more. Good. Switch sides. So we're going to do 5 on the other side. So you're going to send that hand up. Send it through. And if you want to reach, that works. Get a good shoulder stretch. Good, and up. And through. Up. Through. 2 more. And the last one. Good. All right, and then you can shake it out, give your wrists a bit of a rest. Before we go into 2 more poses, we're going to send our hips nice and high into downward dog. And this isn't so much, I said it last week too, I think, that it's not about getting your heels to touch, it's more about getting your hips as high as you can and letting that back get a nice stretch. If you want to pedal your feet and get a good stretch of the calves and the hamstrings, get 1 to touch at a time. If you're somebody that can get both to touch and push your chest towards your knees, great. Hold. Good, then drop to knees, onto belly, however you want to get here. And I've got 1 more active pose for us. You're going to get your hands and spread them wider than your shoulders. And then we're gonna push our palms into the floor and we're gonna lift our chest. You do not have to go like full send on this and try to get the full gymnast arch. It's literally just enough to get a nice stretch. So if it's here, good. If it's here, okay. If it feels good to just be on the ground, it's your time, guys, do it. Stretch, hold, 3, 2, 1. Good. And then we're gonna bring our arms in, however you wanna get up. I'm gonna get back up onto all 4s. And then I'm gonna end here, guys, with child's pose, but not active child's pose, not trying to like push ourselves into a pose, like a really nice, passive, resting child's pose. So, 1 of 2 ways. If the child's pose wasn't comfortable for you to begin with, or you're somebody who finds it really uncomfortable to get here, then I have something else. But if you're somebody who feels good sending your butt back to your heels, letting your chest fall heavy on your legs, and letting your head rest, stay there. If you're somebody that's like, nah, that doesn't feel great, then we can end. And another really good hip relaxer, which is toes together, and then just let your legs fall. And then for some of us, this may not be a comfortable position. And for some people, it's just an awkward position. They just don't like to be in it, and I get that. So if that's you, and you're like, I don't like this feeling, that's okay. There's another one you could end on, and it's to bring your feet as wide as your mat, and then let your knees collapse onto each other. That's my favorite one. It gives my hips a really good, like, what was I trying to say? Like a nice relaxed feeling. So, knees in, knees out, or end on good old child's pose. I'm going to leave you guys with that. You can stay in those poses as long as you want. You could run through that routine again. If any of those poses felt really good, you could stay in some of them longer than I let you. Mix it up. It's yours, guys. So do with it what you will, but I can see my kids wanting me to feed them, so I'm going to go. Don't forget to stretch, don't forget to drink your water, and I'm excited for the next challenge that's coming up this week for bonus points. So stay tuned and I'll talk to you guys soon.